Once again, I am in my car with the windows closed in the sun, but in my defense, the air is a lot cooler today. I am currently developing a short film written by my good friend Matt Wallace, and it was called You're the Best when it was planned to be a series, but now it's a short film and it's called Go Gentle. Matt Wallace is a former professional wrestler. He then became a, close quarters combat consultant. And now he's a novelist and a screenwriter. And I absolutely love his short stories. We've been friends for a while. So I asked him if he had any screenplays he wanted to make, something short, something we could do inexpensively, and this was the idea he came up with, Go Gentle. I am currently in, Pomona, right by some mountains, and I'm about to talk to the martial arts master I'm hoping to play the lead. I'm not going to say his name right yet until he commits, because that would be rude if he doesn't commit and I have to find someone else. But this is what it's like being an independent filmmaker. I just have to go and do things. It seems not glamorous, except it's kind of cool. Like, this man that I'm about to have lunch with is the most capable fighter I've ever encountered, like by a long distance. So it's kind of neat. I am currently in the parking lot of Taco Nazo in Bellflower, about to get my favorite barbecue ribs at a different restaurant called 808 Local Hawaiian Barbecue in either Artesia or Cerritos, where we will be filming some of the scenes in Go Gentle. I want to ask the manager, a man I've become friends with called Paul, if he wants to be in the movie as one of the cult faction leader minions. Yeah, we got those. I recorded a different vlog earlier today and I wasn't super happy with it. I might release it next week, I might not. There is some stuff I talked about and I might just cut it in with this one, but I want to talk about something else because I just had a conversation with my wife. She's in Taco Nazo getting a gift card for one of her coworkers, which is why we're here. Taco Nazo is pretty good, by the way. Good tacos, good shrimp burrito. I'm kind of binging Casey Neistat, not because I agree with everything that he does, but I think that he's a smart man and he says some interesting things. He's not the only person I listen to. I also listen to a lot of other people. Diary of a CEO. I listen to Rob Bell. I listen to Kinema has a pretty good podcast that's interesting. I listen to a bunch of stuff. Anyway, Casey Neistat talked about this documentary, Anvil, the story of Anvil, about a rock band called Anvil that used to open up for major bands like Def Leppard, went in stadiums, like for 50,000 people. And the documentary is basically that the lead singer, guitarist dude, I don't know if he plays guitar, I didn't watch the documentary. The story is that the lead singer of Anvil, he never made it big. And it's like 20, 30 years later, the dude's still giving it his all, rocking out for like 6 people. And that's the documentary. After the documentary was released, the band exploded. They're doing stadium tours in Japan, around the world, packing out the venues they go to. It took 40 to 50 years for Anvil to make it. And Casey makes the point, and I love this point, that if you give yourself an out, you'll take it. If the lead singer of Anvil had quit at any point, he would not have achieved the success he achieved at the end of the documentary or after the documentary, or he wouldn't have achieved that success. He could have quit at any point and never achieved it. Like during Navy SEAL boot camp, there's this, not boot camp, it's called BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition. There's this bell that you can ring at any point, and the pain and the suffering and the cold and the bone muscle burning workout that you have to do in the ocean, carrying a log, carrying a pontoon boat that could crush you if you drop it. You can leave that at any point. All you have to do is ring the bell, and then you won't be a Navy SEAL. Back to Anvil. So Anvil, Casey said, is succeeded. And if the dude's goal was to succeed, to play those massive venues, then yeah, I agree with that. But I think there's another goal. One I would argue is more important than the stadium financial whatever success that Anvil eventually found. I think that there's another way to live. And I think it's the dude. I don't think the lead singer ever didn't succeed because he loved what he was doing. You can't do something for 30 years and approach success and have it flitter away if you don't, and then continue if you don't love what you do. I gotta pause now, my wife's back. Venue change. I am now in the parking lot of Trader Joe's. They have an amazing mild pico de gallo that I love. It's not spicy, and sometimes I drain the juice and use it for one thing. Sometimes I don't drain the juice and add it into sauteed mushrooms with some ground lamb and some basmati rice and some salt and some Italian seasoning and a little bit of turmeric, and wow, that's good. That's one of my wife's favorite meals. Anyway, that's why I'm at Trader Joe's. And I also want to continue this in the car. Yeah, you gotta love what you do in this vocation. It is just too hard to not love it. The money may or may not come. Statistically, it's probably not gonna come. It's not quite as unlikely as winning the lottery, but you gotta love it. And if you do what you love, if you enjoy what you do, it's not work. Like, you don't have to force yourself to get up. Yes, there are days that are difficult. This craft has emotional road bumps. It's an emotional roller coaster. There's ups and downs, for sure. Like this week, I said I was gonna hear from a festival. Turns out I was gonna hear from two. I'm working on Go Gentle. Go Gentle is about a former tournament fighter. Think Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport or Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, but 30 years later. That's the story. And there's a scene where a bunch of fighters are talking to each other. And I wanted to make that scene filled with super elite actual fighters. Almost nobody who's actually going to be in that scene is under a black belt, other than the boxer, who they don't give belts except champion title belts, and the professional wrestler, who they also only give title belts. There's no, you can either fight or you can't. That's boxing and wrestling. So other than that, everyone's a black belt. And like the lead actor is a 10th degree black belt. So one of the guys I wanted to have in that scene, I happened to live near an actual Shaolin monk, like raised in the Shaolin monastery in China. The Chinese thought he was good enough to go start his own academy, temple, dojo place. And I happened to live right near it. And so I went and I asked him, and he's in. And to, first of all, to meet a legit Shaolin monk is like, it was really, really cool. And then I later watched the videos of the guy, and he moves so fast the camera can't even catch him. Like, it's crazy fast. You can see it twitching, like Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch. The camera just doesn't catch it. You just see the effect of it afterwards. And that's the case with this guy. He said yes. And that was a high. Like, I immediately texted Matt and Calvin, the producer, and I'm like, the Shaolin monk is in. And I was high, and I was feeling it, loving it. There are those moments, and they feel great. A few hours later, the second festival responded with a rejection. Yeah, that's just what it is. That's what doing this craft is, man. But I love it. and I get to express the things that I'm wrestling with. More importantly, I get to wrestle with them deeper, more intentionally. Like, one of the sucky things about having AI write things is and other people have mentioned this in better detail with more psychological charts and graphs, but like, one of the parts that the primary part of writing that I love, that makes me want to pursue it as a craft, isn't having written something like that. Once the movie's out, I'm kind of like, yeah, we did that. Now what's the next thing? The part that matters to me is the actual writing process. I love the imagination process. I love that it's a blank slate and I can take it wherever I want. And I absolutely love the research. Like, writing papers was one of my favorite parts about college. Writing research papers and just diving deep into topics and thinking deeply about it and talking with people about it, and then having it digest in my subconsciousness and then come out on the page, and then actually coordinating with it, getting to meet extraordinary people like my musician neighbor Jairo Ortiz, who I made a video with, or this Shaolin monk. It's just really cool. It's a life that when it's over, when I leave this life and enter into the next life, I lived it well. I lived it in a way where I have some regrets because I made some mistakes. I wish I had made a few choices differently, but generally, there isn't a dream that I wish I had pursued. I pursued it. I have pursued everything that I want to pursue, and it isn't about money. It doesn't cost money to read books and to listen to wisdom teachers from the ages, or to watch movies. The library, the Newport Beach Public Library, for instance, not cheap to live in Newport Beach, but you can get a card as long as you have an address. They will lend you a DVD or Blu-ray player and then lend you the Blu-ray also on your card. Like, a lot of libraries do that. Or they'll have places where you can watch the movie, and they'll even have a pair of headphones. Like, you can watch stuff for free. It's free to have access to the conversation that is the global cinema. We can live the life we want, and it doesn't cost money. Most of the rich people I know don't travel much. Most of my friends who travel the most, they're all like either dirt poor or barely making a living, and it's just the life they choose to live. They don't stay in 5-star hotels in resorts, and honestly, like, those aren't resorts, man. Those are colonies. You're just going to another piece of England or the United States when you go to one of those resorts. It's not the location. You don't actually experience the people. You don't see what it's like to live as a person in Jamaica when you go to the resorts in Jamaica. Unless you befriend one of the locals and they actually take you in. The resort itself is not, you're basically paying for weather and humidity and proximity to a different colored ocean. Anyway, that's a rant. I don't want to rant. It's really affordable if you choose to optimize for the life you want. And a lot of people don't even question life. They live the life without examining, do I need to do this? Do I need to have the corporate job? Do I need to appease my parents' wishes and live out their dreams? Or can I find myself and follow my dreams? Do I need to get married and have a house and a yard and live what's called the American dream? Well, guess what, guys? The American dream is a construct created by advertisers to promote consumerism. Newsflash, it's not. One, it's barely achievable by kids these days because everything's so darn expensive. But even when you do achieve it, like, read The Feminine Mystique. The layers of dissatisfaction in that life, there's a lot of other ways to live, a lot better ways to live. I am not dissing you if you find contentment in those things. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. If you work a job that you like, and it can be a dishwasher, it can be a garbage collector. It can be walking around with a cart, gathering recycling from recycling bins and turning it in and living on the street. Like, I've met people in all of those positions who love their jobs. But if you don't love what you do, you only get one life. Change your life. If you're in a relationship where the person isn't treating you with the dignity you deserve, and I'm not talking about like today you had an argument. I'm talking about long term. Like, there's good relationships to be had. You can be in love in a romantic relationship that doesn't suck. You can start your own company or have no company at all. You can be a hermit and live for almost nothing in the woods. Like, go find yourself. And if you can live that way, that's a life worth living. That's success. I think the Anvil lead singer was succeeding the entire time. And I think I am too. And I know there's only 23 of you who watched the previous video. Maybe when you watch this video, it will be millions, but as I'm recording it, it's at 23 views. And I love that people watched it. I don't know if it had meaning or impact to them. Don't know. I'm kind of doing this as an experiment. So, yeah, that's what I think success is. Are you happy with your life? Is it going in the direction that you want it to go? Are you doing the thing that makes you feel fulfilled? That's all there is. The money doesn't make people happy. The fame definitely doesn't make people happy. Fame is a prison. It's a negative consequence for the most part of having a job that happens to make people famous. But we're all just people. My wife's back again with the aforementioned salsa. So I'm done. You'll probably see me next week.